Sports, a Rewind Digital. I am joined tonight with Davo and BJ again for another week of sport. We've got Tid Bits, NFL, ABL, MLB, cricket, and hopefully a guest there waiting in the green room. Fellas, big week of sport for you, Davo. Tell us about your cricket this week, mate.
Not much to talk about, mate. Daughter did well as usual. So did the wife. They both played first grade on the weekend. Ella took 2 for 7 in 3 overs. Got a catch as well. And then Lauren helped bring the side home for him to get the win. So good win by them. And unfortunately, we didn't do much in our game. Didn't trouble the scorer too much this week.
I heard.
Too much or at all?
At all. First up for the season. So I've got that out of the way now. So hopefully on to bigger and better things this week.
Absolutely. And you're saying your daughter is the equal leading wicket taker now, is it?
She is the leading wicket taker for Narara, Wyoming first grade after only playing 3 games. So she's got seven wickets there. So she's doing well and loving it.
Awesome, mate. About you, Randall? The boys back at baseball yet, or?
No, not yet, mate. We're still keeping quiet. I think the 4th of Feb, I think they return. So once school goes back, it's got a couple more weeks, maybe this week, and then they're back into it. So Summer Sizzler kicked off though this week, but we didn't make it to the Summer Sizzler this year. A little bit too hard with how far it's split between the 2 age groups. So
yeah, absolutely. Would have been pretty hard. It was like an hour in Western Sydney or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's it. So getting from Newcastle and getting one to Blacktown or whatever it was, and the other one to Nowra, it just wasn't going to happen for us.
Yeah, fair. Just want to before we go on, give a big shout out to all the Buffalo Bills supporters out there because heard they're looking for a kicker, but yeah,
Green Bay are too. But
yeah.
What are you wearing there, mate? What do you got on?
Oh yeah, mate, look at this.
Oh yeah, right, beautiful.
What hat you got on there, mate?
Oh, see you on the weekend, champ.
And I need to go the other way. I'll just referee you too. Keep your part.
We'll see you on the weekend, champion.
Should be a good game, mate. I think you will have us, but hopefully it's a good battle.
You never know, mate. Team that's been there and done it all before.
Yeah,
you can't. It's hard to go against them. Just because they haven't had a great year, they still know what they need to do at the business end.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, but I know Mahomes hasn't, had the greatest of seasons with receivers and things like that. But as you said, they're there at the pointy end and see what happens.
That's it. So what about you, mate? How'd you go on the weekend for sport? Do you have anything with the kids or?
No, mate. I've just been lifeguard here at the pool for however long we've been here for, and on my days off, I seem to be lifeguard. The kids are loving the pool, and they're back at dancing, and young fellas just running amok in the pool and backflips and somersaults and running and jumping and all eyes on, eh?
Perfect.
Yeah. Right, we might kick off with some tidbits and then see where we're at.
Guest is coming. He's in the green room, just finishing off a beverage or two.
I hope Randall left him something better than dirty waters and those VBs that have been sitting there since 1996.
Hoping someone will just drink them.
Yeah. Pretty rough, mate. Pretty rough, old rusty twist tops, but throwdowns, I think they are, aren't they?
They are, mate. They are.
I know. Does our guest like a beer, Davo?
He loves a beer, mate.
Loves a beer.
So
I can't wait to have our guest on. Damien Thomlinson is coming up. We're going to do our tidbits first and see where he's at. But done a bit of research and looking into his story, mate. It's pretty inspirational what he's achieved. And, I can't wait to have him on and talk about it. And Davo, you've got plenty to talk about. And yeah, as you said, he's just a real down to earth top bloke. So yeah, can't wait to have him on.
We'll forgive him for being a Dodgers supporter.
Oh, we will bring that up for sure. Away, Jevo, I was listening to a bit of Funky Phil earlier. Good show, mate. It was a good episode. Right, fellas, let's kick off our tidbits. Let's get them on. I think I'm kicking us off. Yeah, I am. What a legend this bloke is. Baseball is 155 years old, and in all that time, only one infielder has hit 500 home runs and won 10 gold gloves. Mike Schmidt. Only 3 players in all of baseball have accomplished the feat. Smith, Willie Mays, and Ken Griffey Jr.
Pretty handy list.
I go back to that era of baseball, and mate, he's an absolute weapon. I don't know what you blokes remember growing up watching, but he was an absolute weapon with the bat and the glove.
Yeah, one of the all-time greats. He was fun to watch.
I don't know about you, Randall, but he's still in my MLB The Show team. I still use him. He crushes.
Yeah, no, not me.
Not you? Who have you got there?
I'm not sure. It's been a little bit.
Fair enough.
Right. Maybe Riley or someone like that.
Fair enough. This one was cool. Bryce Harper was mentioned in the New York Times at age 13. The article was about unrealistic baseball dreams at too young an age. He made his MLB debut at 19 years old and just sent his team to the World Series at 30 years old. Be unrealistic, kids. Get out there and chase your dreams. How cool is that?
Yeah, pretty bloody good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Most definitely. Don't let anyone stop you.
Absolutely. JVD has got Chipper at third base all day. Yeah, mate.
The cards that I've got for him in the show, he just lacks a little bit. I think right-handed.
Yeah, fair enough.
But good
tidbit number 3, I think it's you, Davo.
Yeah, so sticking with the NFL this week, because it's that time of the year. So this year is the first year since 1998 that we haven't had Brady or Peyton Manning in the playoffs. So it's not a mean feat. What's that, 25 years for the first year without either of those two in there.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Pretty impressive. I'm sure one of them will be in the commentary box, but or probably both of them. But yeah, crazy to think how many years of football are involved with that family and the Manning family and Tom Brady. You see he's coming to Australia?
Yeah,
I did. He's doing some little chats there, I saw.
Pretty
still
decent
making some good money
available. So all the VIP packages are up around sort of $3,000, and it's like front row, meet and greet, his book, get a photo with him, that sort of thing. But yeah, I think they're sold out of the pleb packages back there at $190 or whatever they were.
Yeah.
So.
And the Manning brothers are doing their bit still, and they're doing the Pro Bowl as well, I think, aren't they? So
they are.
They're staying involved.
They're coaching each of the teams, aren't they?
Yeah.
The skill for the skills show. So,
what do you blokes think about that? I'm not a huge fan of it, but I don't know. It's a bit of entertainment, I guess.
I suppose it's the equivalent to a home run derby, isn't it?
Yeah. But I don't mind that.
It's just the NFL equivalent, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just challenges. So, yeah.
Bring back the old school ones.
Yeah.
Where they used to have like the tire swinging like about 50 yards out and have the quarterbacks throwing it at it sort of thing. So just, so which quarterback could throw the furthest sort of thing. Hey?
You remember the old skills? They used to have the skills at All-Star break. They need to bring that back. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Even baseball needs to bring that back, throwing the ball, the catcher's throwing it through the vinyl cutout at second base and that sort of thing.
Yep.
Be awesome to
Go
see.
Japanese and the bunting challenge.
Yeah.
Not the home run derby, it's the bunting derby.
Yeah. JVD's chiming in again. The derby is more watchable than skills comp. Bring on the biggest hit, and maybe I'll watch. Yeah, maybe, mate. Maybe.
I love the derby.
Yeah, I do too.
Back. So, second tidbit. So, New England Patriots over the last 24 years have had one head coach. The rest of the NFL, 213 head coaches. So when I saw that, I thought, well, that's pretty crazy stat. That Belichick just shows how good he is and how he's just stayed current. He's evolved as the game has, and it's pretty crazy.
Will he get a run next year, or is he
helps
gone?
having Tom Brady for a long time too, doesn't it?
Oh, it does.
This is true.
Yeah, they reckon he's going to the Falcons. Well, he's interviewed for the Falcons.
Yep.
Imagine being the owner of the Falcons. What can you bring us, sir?
A little bit of knowledge. Randall, you're up.
Yes. I saw this one pop up the other day. Only 7 players have made it to the All-Star game 5 in the last 5 consecutive years. So that's going to drop down this year, obviously. It'll be only 6. But yeah, we'll what do you reckon? How many of these blokes will survive this year?
Top 3 are locks, I reckon.
You got to think Garrett Cole's a lock.
Yeah.
Nolan,
JD might be a reserve, depending where he's at. Hayter might be. Like, if he...
new lease of life.
I think Hayter will be.
Even if Trout's injured, he's normally one of the leading vote getters.
Yeah.
So probably the only ones for me are probably going to be JD and Arenado.
Yeah.
Arenado will most probably get it anyway. Like he's elite gloveman. It was only his hitting that struggled a bit last year, but he'll be in there, I'm sure. Who's going to get it over him? Machado?
Don't know.
Can't, mate.
Only about 65 sleeps to opening day as well, just so you know.
Exciting, isn't it? This one, we talked about this young fella, last week or the week before, I think. Last week. Luke Littler. There's a bit more history for him. At 16 years of age, he's the youngest person to hit a televised PDC 9 data. Now, I did watch this video. It was absolute cracker. He was pretty stoked with himself, and he was playing against his mate. He was pretty stoked with him too, eh? Big hugs. It was cracking.
I want to see his birth certificate, though.
Really? Oh, yeah. 16 years old. You're kidding yourself, champ.
He's a big lad.
12.
That's exactly right. I am 12.
Yeah, big lad.
I reckon he could be as old as Davo.
Probably.
Well, that's pushing it.
It is pushing it. Right, that rounds out our tidbits anyway for the week, fellas. Another one sort of caught on with this week was Burnsy over there at the he's with Will the Thrill Clark. What's that? No Filter Network, and his daily hustle. And he put out the top 15 baseball movies of all time. I know, Davo, you've seen that one. I think it might have been on Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Give us your – I'm putting this one on you blokes. Give us your top 3 baseball movies, Randall.
Bull
Number 3 first.
Number 3 to 1.
Yeah.
Well, you can't go past Field of Dreams, can you? So that's me number 3. And then I'm hard pushed between 1 and 2 is going to be Major League and Bull Durham.
Yeah. What about you, Davo?
It's like saying which one's your favourite child.
Yeah.
I'd throw 42.
Yep.
In there at number 3.
Yep.
It's a toss-up between that and 61. 61 was a great movie. I know Will Clark, they had 61 at number one. But I think Bull Durham 2 and Major League 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I'm going to
you could mix up all of them.
Yeah. The whole 15 he had down on his list, they were all great movies. I'm going to throw a spanner in the works and put number 3, even though it's not really a baseball movie, but it's got bits of baseball in it. The Naked Gun at number 3, Bull Durham number 2, and then I'll throw in Major League as my favourite for sure. For sure. All right, we've got Damien waiting there in the green room. I think Randall's only left about 2 or 3, little stubbies of VB there for him, so we better get him on.
That'll be gone.
And Dave, I'd love for you to introduce him, mate. You know him well, and you speak very highly of him. So I'm going to bring him in, and you can do the intro for him.
Damo, what's happening, mate?
How are you, David? You all right, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. So for everyone, this is Damien Thomlinson, Army Commando, author, movie star, reality TV, golfer, snowboarder, cricketer, all-around good bloke. So how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. I'm good. I'm either really bad at everything I try, or just can never stay focused on one task. But I'm good, mate. Going well. Family and kids and back on the coast where we spent a lot of years playing baseball together. So it's kind of fun. It's fun to be back. I think it's kind of weird when you come back because now, for anyone who doesn't know, I ran a bomb in Afghanistan and I lost both legs, so I can't run now. So a lot of the memories that I got from being young have got to do with sport, like cricket in the summer, baseball in the winter. So it was really weird, but I was kind of lucky. I moved back up through COVID time, and so I had to kind of process a bit of the stuff before I got too acclimatized to the coast again. But it's good to be back up here.
And doing a bit of motivational speaking as well, mixed in there these days.
Yeah. I mean, I think with, we all go through some form of adversity, but I think because mine's so visual, it gives people something to relate to. I can go up and on stage and tell stories where, I think everyone in the crowd has a moment where things have been difficult, where stuff's gone badly. So for them to just know visually that they can relate to someone who's been through some other form of trauma, I think it sort of helps people all move forward. Because let's face it, I mean, everyone's got a different degree of it at different stages through their life. It's not an uncommon sort of thing. So I think it's good fun for me to be able to go up on stage and remind people of that.
Yeah, it's awesome. So this is Hutto and BJ. So these are the two mugs we do the podcast with. So I want to thank you for coming on for our little bit of a dribble.
Not a drama. Thanks for having us, boys.
Much appreciated, mate.
Yeah, what was when I was in the green room, I heard a little bit about it. Was it best baseball movie ever?
Yes.
Yeah. What's your favorite baseball movie?
Craig Walker. You remember Craig Walker, Dave?
Yeah.
He gave me Bull Durham when I was young because I don't think he knew that I had a fair bit of experience with rep baseball. So I knew what I was doing. He always acted as if he knew absolutely everything about it. So I just let him run with it.
That sounds like him.
He goes, "Oh, look, you're the pitcher out of Bull Durham. Look, he throws really hard and then he does this, but he's a complete nink." And I'm like, okay, cool, man. But for some reason, I like that movie. I kind of like Kevin Costner's character out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The guy who almost made it. For me, that makes that movie, especially since it's not like your typical American success story. You know what I mean? It's not just someone hits a home run to win the thing. And I also I loved Moneyball.
Yeah.
I really loved it. I literally thought, oh my God, Michael Lewis, he's a kindred spirit. He loves baseball and sport, and it just turns out he just researches stuff well.
Yeah. So
he's written books about everything from the financial crisis to basketballers shooting hoops. It just is, guy's a phenom.
I watched it again the other day. I put it on, and it's just insane. And another podcast I listened to, No Filter Network, Burnsy, he was actually in that team, and
Yeah, right.
he hadn't watched it until about 2 or 3 years ago because he thought it was, pretty far-fetched, the storyline on what it was, and
Yeah.
he broke it down a little bit. It was pretty cool for him to listen, and he actually talked to the character that played him in the game and
Yeah, right.
in the movie and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool.
I mean, yeah,
Great movie. You're right.
Oh, it is. It's brilliant, right? But I mean, it's so hard to capture what happens in a season of Major League Baseball and just make it watchable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you had to have the real thing, it would last for 8 hours. And guys like us, like people who are really into sport, would just eat it up. We'd think it was great. But like the average viewer is just going to probably drift a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but even
Absolutely.
the bits in it where they make him say you're traded, it's part of the business. It's sort of like sort of put him on the spot and say, right, it's your job to say he's traded, make no emotion with it. So it's little things like that added to it, that it wasn't just a true baseball movie. There was more to it.
It's the reality of the business side. And like you look at them in the office when they're making trades, who's on the table, who's got that much money, the buying power, like all the different bits of Major League Baseball. But I mean, it does have the romance at the end that he turns down the Red Sox offer. And that was the funny thing was that was one of the last years before I joined the military. I remember being like in Cairns on a boys trip with the lads, watching Johnny Damon with his beard hitting home runs for the Boston Red Sox. And I think they came back from like 4-0. Oh, 3-0. It would have been 3-0, obviously.
Yes, 3-0.
Or we'll win. But yeah, so they were 3-0 down, I'm pretty sure, and then just raced home to win that one. So I think that like part of that had me when it started, when I realized what they were talking about with him leaving Oakland.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously still a bit of a nut with it.
So what's your third one? There's two.
All right. God, you got to have Major League.
Yes.
Like I love the Jackie Robinson story for what it says to do with people, but just out of sheer love of Hollywood and their ability to like pump something up in a big way. Like they made baseball interesting for a whole group of people that may not have otherwise watched it. I mean, besides injecting dudes with phenomenal amount of steroids so they could hit the ball kilometers, that was like which is funny.
I haven't heard that movie, but I'm sure it was a good one back in the 90s and 2000s.
Old cats like us just living the dream.
Only a few home runs hit. This bloke reckons it must be time to head back to Adcock Park for a hit. Jaron Van Dyke, mate. You play a bit with Jaron.
You still remember you threw one at my belt buckle and it hasn't landed yet?
Yes.
You really want to do that again?
I love it. I hope it was a filthy knuckleball too, Van Dyke. I hope it was that knuckler that went deep. So
the worst part is now at Adcock Park, there's a cricket pitch right where the baseball fields were.
I saw that. We took the kids to ride bikes the other day, and because there's massive netball courts and stuff, and it was weird, but the missus every now and then when we had the kids trekking around was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I'm just, just remembering where the net used to be. That used to be the little cover thing, and it was
The funny part is I played cricket there last year on that pitch, I'm standing there and I'm like, crap, I'm in centre field. It's like it felt weird to play cricket where the baseball fields were at Adcock.
Yeah, and that was the home of it too. You know, I mean, like Baseball Park was finals home, but Adcock was like the spiritual home of, because you played juniors there and stuff. Well, I grew up playing juniors there, so.
And what's the spin out now?
Sorry.
Say again.
Who did you play for junior-wise?
I was a Dodger the whole way through. So I was a Dodger in winter and then Pirates in summer, but Pirates kind of gave way to cricket. I was pretty good at cricket, but I mean, it took a different, because of the way your hands come from, to play a high grade of cricket and then a high grade of baseball, you'd sort of in the back half of the baseball season, you get your baseball swing back.
Yeah.
And then you'd spend the first 2 months of a cricket season trying to undo it. So the older I got, the more, and I could throw reasonably hard. So I used to I'd try. I remember one season I thought I would solve the problem by hitting left-handed. I don't think I got that many hits that year, but yeah, it was it was one of those things. It was a wild idea to try and keep the cricket in check. But yeah, so I was a dodger the whole way through. And then when I got hurt, I found after I got hurt, I got more interested in watching sport.
Yep.
Than previously. So I had to make a decision because when I used to pitch was right around the time of the Fab Four, like the Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, Steve Avery, and John Smoltz were throwing just like they were throwing, World Series games for the Atlanta Braves. You had like Fred McGriff on first base. They had a really strong side, and they always have. They will again this year, even though we've swallowed Freddie Freeman, and I'm not sorry. But I had to make a sort of call. I remember getting back into it and having that moment of going, all right, cool, I've got to commit. I'm either a Brave or a Dodger. And I still had my old Dodgers jersey. So I was like, I'm a Dodger.
So you made first mistake in life, obviously.
Mate, I was actually on. All right, here's a story for it. I was with my first or second day on Hacksore Ridge, which a movie I did with Mel Gibson. Like a really cool story about Desmond Doss set in World War II. This conscientious objector who he refused to touch a weapon, and that's sort of all we knew. With the ensemble cast, it's really cool. You get like the script with your name written across it and reading through it. Mel Gibson's directing. It's like you're just living in a fantasy land. And I remember meeting Mel and the two producers. You don't know how big of a deal some of them are at that stage. So I'm just shaking hands. On day one of them's wearing an LA hat. And at that stage, Clayton Kershaw, I've got his 2014 Cy Young ball up the top there with my Dodgers hat. I've got like a couple of different bits, and we were having a convo about how long it was going to last. And it's I'm bantering baseball knowledge. I had no idea how big of a deal this guy is. He was the head of Fox, the entertainment company, for 4 years.
Yeah.
Like Titanic. I get back to the cast, I kind of wander back like the idiot I am. And then they're like, so what were you guys talking about? I'm like, he was wearing an LA hat. We talked about baseball. What else would you be talking about? And they're like, you have no idea who he is, do you? And I'm like, oh, I met him once. I think he's like the producer, isn't he? Right? Which now is apparent why Craig Walker gave me Bull Durham to watch. But so I was like, yeah, and we still talk about baseball now. We're still in touch. We're regularly chatting about what's happening in the Dodgers. Both of us thought the Ohtani trade wasn't going to happen. The amount of money they spent in 2 days just blew our head off. Cody was always a good trade. I have no idea why. No offense, Max Muncy. I think he must be good in the clubhouse, but I think that his course is run. He's not great in the field. But yeah, I don't know. I can't trust their front office. Who's going to beat us?
And you're about to sign Paxton too.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
another pitcher.
Which is something we need. We need depth. So
yeah, just throw another couple of mil out there. It doesn't matter. It's only like 1.25 bill or something, isn't it? At the moment.
Who cares? They're not going to pay. They won't pay it until 2079. So who cares?
It's the Southern Hemisphere's economy the Dodgers are throwing into baseball. It's wild.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
We'll just watch them be the Mets, and the whole rotation just fall over as the season starts going along. Nothing happens. Everyone's disappointed.
So what happened? What do you guys think? What's your take on Trey Turner in the postseason? How does he just forget to hit?
Don't know.
He takes those
slump. You have him. I don't know.
Yeah.
You can go cold.
take up cricket and get a cricket swing for the first half of the year so he can get his baseball swing for the second half.
Yeah. You know what it's like? Just sometimes it happens. You can crush the ball all day and you just pick a fielder every time, or you just miss it. Just miss it and it's a pop-up or
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. It's just one of those things that, like, I sort of looked. I watched him crash. He was on, like, he couldn't miss, 2 seasons ago when he was a Dodger. But apparently, like, when I was talking to my mate about it, I was like, so what's the deal with Trey Turner? And he's like, man, dude just doesn't, I don't know. He just doesn't, he's not a team guy, apparently.
Yeah.
So, and I think when you get to, like, the business end of a World Series, team guys are the ones who are going to win the game for you, aren't they? Like,
absolutely.
Sure.
We talked about it earlier with NFL and Brady getting it done and Patrick Mahomes getting it done. It's the same thing. They just know what to do, when to do it.
Yeah. Plus, like, everyone around him would follow him into the fires of hell, and you know that they would.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just like some, I guess, born leaders. And that's the thing, when you got like someone who's you're looking at to lead who isn't that guy, maybe you hit a ding and a win, but is he going to get the hit in the third that you need to put you in a dangerous spot? Probably not.
Yeah, agree there.
Yeah. But my NFL knowledge, I don't know why. I still can't do it well. I've tried to get into it, and I've tried at different stages, but
you needed to watch Don Lane back in the day when he was on the ABC, sort of running through it all. That's when me and Elle's brother Shane, we used to sit and watch NFL with Don Lane on it. He used to run through all the rules, and that's where our love for it came from. Just picked it up from him, knowing the rules, and now,
I can remember, like, I know the rules. I know, like, Madden 99, I think that was when the vintage, I think we were 16 or 17 or something maybe 18 when it came out. And we played it for a whole summer. So, like, I know the game, but to me,
the
like,
playbook was about huge.
Yeah, I don't get the strategy. Like, to me, it just, there's bits that, I kind of have a half an idea of why a pitcher will throw a pitch at a certain time. Like, half an idea. Or if,
like when Jared threw you, middle of the plate fastball and you hit it over the fence.
Yeah. Oh, he just threw it too high. I mean, he had a good arm. He just threw it sort of into my comfort zone. I
love it.
He always tried to overpower me. We used to both throw hard, so you kind of knew it was going to come at you. He's always going to come at you. So that was great. I loved that.
Doesn't sound like him at all. He's still trying to do it.
Loves it.
Yeah.
He loves it. He did have a wicked knuckleball. I did love watching that thing go all over the place and wobble down. But he's always here commenting, mate. So we might be nice to him. Probably not this week though.
No. So we saw the other day you got to almost bring the two loves together. The Sydney Thunder had you down, seeing how far you could hit a cricket ball. So unfortunately, it was washed out. But I heard you had a bit of a warm up and a run in with one of the fellow competitors.
Oh, mate! As soon as I heard it, I was like, "Oh, you're gonna get to do it again! Here it goes! You're on here!" I get so excited. I've got, like, in my man cave, I've got a weight setup just over there, TheraBands. I've got all this different stuff that I use to try and, like, just make sure my heart keeps going, so I can, be a dad for a long time for my kids. And I got so excited. I've literally got. Hang on. I'm in a wheelchair now. This. So I'd use.
I was going to say, how old is that?
Jesus.
This thing scored a first grade ton, I think, in the year 2002 or 3.
Good old Terrigal Matcham.
Yeah. So this is my old Raptor that I used, and because prosthetics, right? I've got a set of golf prosthetics that are set up to hit balls hard, and then a set of walking ones, which is set up to do normal stuff. And I was like, I'm not going out making an idiot of myself. If they're going to let me hit a ball, like they've told me they're going to lob it, I'm going to hit it well. So I'd been drilling it for like a week. And then I see the call list. I'm like, okay, cool. We got a diver. Okay, sweet. I think I should, I should go all right. Like, I'm not going to make an idiot of myself. And then I saw Boss's name. And all I could think was, oh, for God's sake. Like, we played a charity T20 game. And I was just ambling in, bowling like these little, like, Chinaman leggies at him. He hit one so hard back at me that, like, I finished, it had hit my chest before I realized he'd hit it. Like, my reaction times is still there. Like, I didn't even move my hands. Like, it hit me in the chest. I was like, oh, that's a deep ball, hit me. And I was just like, the ball could have literally gone anywhere as well. Like, it was a pie. It could have launched. And then, so I was like, and then once I saw his name down, I was like, now I got to beat him as well. So I was like, then I was on the TheraBands harder. I was pumped for it. And then at 4 o'clock, my mate sends me a message saying, I think we're going to get rained out.
Brutal.
So, I've got 12 months, apparently, to train for the next one.
And we've all seen Boss hit a baseball.
I can tell you, I know the feeling. Local winter comp for the mighty Toronto Tigers, Bossman and his brother Moko and Cambo, Michael Campbell, all lefties. And here I am, first base coach, standing there. I'm pretty much standing in right field. Just knowing that these guys, any of them pull that ball, I'm not seeing shit.
Yeah, it's just there. It's there before. Yeah.
So how did that come about? Did they just sort of reach out, the Thunder reach out and say, hey, we're throwing this on. Do you want to be part of it?
I played with, I think they got on through a friend who's an author. There's a guy who wrote The Digger of Kokoda, and he puts on a charity game each year. Yep. And he just sent us sort of a text saying, hey, the Thunder are looking at doing this. Would you be keen to come down for a hit? And as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, like let's get some of that. Like, but then like instantly, I didn't want to just hit. I wanted to win. I was like, obviously I want to hit a 6. Like whatever way it goes, I don't know how I've got to manage. And like I had to put, for me to get the right swing at it, I've got to like open one prosthetic, put the other one out, like where would be outside of a batter's box, essentially behind home plate, and then swing my hips and body through. So yeah, I'd put some like thought into how to talk into hitting it. But yeah, it was through a guy who I'd met through other things. It's weird like that. Like the more stuff you go to, the more people you meet, the more stuff seems to come your way. You know what I mean? It's really strange.
Let's talk about your golfing game, mate. You talk about opening up your stance and stuff, and I watch a few YouTube videos with golf and stuff like that, and you would have had to change your stance a fair bit, I guess, with golf as well. Have you got a sort of coach that helps you with all these little tricks and tips?
So I've had coaches. I've been through it. I started down in Bonnydoon when I lived in the eastern suburbs. I was using Denise Hutton for a while, but there's like bits that there's perfect golf swings. Like, okay, I guess there's perfect golf swings, and then there's the golf swing that works. Like Rory and Tiger's swing looks a lot different to John Rahm's and Tony Finau's. I found out pretty early in the piece that there were bits of that swing that I wasn't going to be able to do. Some bits that were more important, some that were less. And over like the years, have sort of narrowed down a way to make it work for me so I can hit the shots that I need to hit without having to worry about too many of the technical things. Plus, I'm more of a feel guy.
Yep.
So I've never ever with anything, I've never got too technical. It's always been to do with feel. So I actually had Church. So my dad's coach was Peter Churcher from Gosford, and my middle name's Peter, which is
mine too. I had lessons from Peter Churcher.
Yeah, didn't so help, that was he's and then Mark, and then I had Zach for a while.
Yep,
we was going through Zach Churcher, and there were bits that we'll work on, and then there were sort of bits that I I've learned with a lot of stuff because the only person who can deal with the amputee bit is me. You can sort of feel what is possible. You give some stuff a go and then you try and work your way through it. But yeah, and a lot of stuff to do with golf. It's weird. It's like it's experience. You can have someone that doesn't have a perfect swing that just makes the right decision, and they'll probably beat someone who hits the ball a mile most days.
Yeah.
So,
and mum and dad are good golfers, so that helps as well.
Yeah, they both got on. My old man got me again. 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago, I beat him for the first time. I think it would be 3 years ago now. I beat him for the first time, and then no matter what happened, he couldn't beat me. We'd get to 2 holes to go. I'd start in his ear about how close he was to actually doing it again, and next minute he would just implode. But we played at Toronto, and yeah, I had chances. Like the 3 last holes, I had a putt for eagle. I ended up 3-putting, squared the hole. I had a putt for birdie. I 3-putted, squared the hole. So yeah, it was. I made a mess of it, but he got me. So it's but it's good because yeah, I've kind of had both them. My mum and my dad have both played golf, and that was what the first driver was, because everyone went through a lot when obviously I almost died. You know what I mean? I don't think it's hard to explain what a parent goes through having to hear that for starters, and then, deal with the aftermath, because you just don't know. Everything's just an unknown. So I started playing golf just on a Friday with dad and another mate that we've got that works in finance, a guy called Ray Miles. And then the more Ray's competitive, my dad's competitive, I'm competitive. And as an amputee, what is someone going to do? Clap their hands because they beat a disabled guy? But no one wants to lose to the disabled guy. So no matter what happens, I can't lose. It's oh, well done. You beat a guy who's got one knee. Cool. Whereas if they get beaten, it's dude, you got beaten by a guy with one knee. Have you ever considered lawn bowls?
and playing on pretty much one of the toughest courses on the coast too, is your home course. They're Magenta.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. And see, that's the thing. I got really lucky. They've been really, really good to me. So they have since injury time, they were really, really good. They've always given us plenty of space, which has just been instrumental, in being able to have me stay level and get me to sort of as normal as I could ever be, I guess, today. So yeah, it's a good leveler, you know what I mean? In a day where we spend so much time on social media, we spend so much time worried about so many other things. You can kind of put it all down and, just zone into something else and fit, because you've got to be in the zone to do it. Can you imagine if you could put the zone into a bottle, how much money you would make?
Yeah.
It would be wild. But yeah,
this bottle's going to last 2 hours here. The game goes for 1 hour and 45. Drink it now.
Yeah. There you go. Welcome to. Imagine it might be slow, but imagine that. Imagine if you did it and someone just goes, "This feels like it's 12 hours."
Yeah, it would be pretty hectic, actually, thinking about it like that.
It could, right?
Golf does that to you. It's the most addictive but frustrating game ever.
Yeah.
And I think last time I played at Magenta, I allowed from a slice on one hole. Next thing you know, it's bouncing down Wilfred Barrett. So at least I didn't hit a car.
Never hit a big ball, but just
yeah.
That's great.
Golf, you hit one good shot and it changes the whole 18 holes. You could have played absolute dog shit. One good shot and that's it. You're hooked again.
Bang, there it is. And you're just so that's why I do it. Yeah. Even if it's holding a putt. It just, I mean, there's something different about it. I mean, of all games, it's such a mental one. When you think you get into a slump in baseball, there's probably different ways you can get out of it. You get into a slump in cricket, there's sort of ways that you can try and get yourself out of it. The only slump that you've got in golf happens inside your head.
Yeah.
So it's and that to me will sort of translate it into the rest of life.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like I worked with a guy for a little while called Jamie Glazier, who his wife was actually she was instrumental in me getting booted from Survivor. And so I naturally thought, well, I'm getting your mental lessons for fucking free, aren't I? So I hit him up through his thing and just sort of said, man, your wife did trash me on national television. Let's work something out. And yeah, he was pretty accommodating with some of the things, like the silent eye and a few things that have worked when everything else kind of goes wrong, when something else in reality is not going your way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's been good. It translates across well.
You've done plenty of things on and off the sporting field. Let's take us back to the movie scene, I guess. We've all seen the show, Hacksaw Ridge, but did that play over your mind a little, taking you back to sort of your injury, or was it more you were in that zone for the movie? What was that like?
Well, so I guess it sort of comes back to, it's a very weird spot. Like my whole life growing up was get a job, work for your whole life, so that then by the time you retire, you own the house you're in, and then you can maybe have an Audi A4 to drive. That was my lofty expectations. That was my batting 1,000 if I did that. 2.3 kids, a wife, everything working out, a house that works. And I almost had, I had all of the material stuff within a day of the explosion. Everything, you sort of like, okay, cool. Now I've got everything that needs to work there. You kind of lose what you're actually doing. You don't have anything to sort of drive for. And I thought the acting, I just wanted to do something that if I hadn't have listened to or I chose to be a bit more strong-willed when I was young, I probably would have given the acting side of things more of a run when I was really young. But I chose not to. And then I decided I was 31 or something like that. And so I went to acting school, and I just found it really inspiring. So by the time I got the audition, which was just because it was just a matter of chance. It's one of those weird matters. But it's funny, people talk about luck or matters of chance. They go, oh, this lady got found, just by someone when she was walking down the street. What they don't tell you is that street was Wilshire Boulevard, and it's in the middle of Hollywood. You know what I mean? She got picked up off a street in fucking Idaho. Pardon me. If she got picked up off a street in Idaho, it's a different story. But yeah, so I was in an acting class. I'd been there for a couple of years, and one of the teachers just goes, look, I'm on my third callback. You got to get in touch with this casting director called Nikki Barrett. They're doing a war movie that there might be something you could do in, because I did a scene, used to have to do little exercises in it. I did one that involved one of my boys, and then one thing led to another. I did the screen test. They liked it. And then, next thing you know, I'm meeting Mel Gibson and the two producers in a room talking about what we're going to do in the movie. And it was funny because he sort of had that moment where it wasn't the first day that they asked. I'd already signed to say, okay, cool, my character's name's going to be Ralph Morgan. They're like, look, there's going to be you and 9 other guys. And I look at this wall of movie stars, which is just mind-blowing. You got there's Vince Vaughn, Sam Worthington, Hugo Weaving, Faraz Durrani, who was huge, Ben Mingo. There's all these guys who you've looked up to, all on a wall, and there's your face smack bang in the middle of it, and you're just like, okay, you've got to turn up for this one, and make sure you're as ready as you can be, because it's getting very, very real, and you've got to be good. So and we were very conscious. It was funny. Mel goes, so can we? Okay, if we pull your legs off again? He kind of asked the question like that. And it was funny because when he started asking it, I kind of knew where he was going with it. And true to the story, Desmond Doss actually did save a double amputee, which was unheard of in World War II. They just never seemed to survive. It still mystifies people how I survived, so let alone him. And Yeah, so we knew it was going to happen. We were very prepared. It was actually Desmond Doss or Andrew Garfield, his advisor on the movie, was the medic that worked on me when we were overseas. He runs a consulting business, and they asked me to go, oh, look, do you know anyone who like knows military medicine? And I'm like, man, I know like the Yoda of military medicine. I'm pretty sure that if I call him, we can get him on. And like it's the best call to make. You know what I mean? You're like, Chris, bro, I've got this thing. And like I hadn't called him in years. And he thought that I was taking the piss. He's just like, what, like a Mel Gibson movie, like in Australia, and you just want me? I'm like, man, it's a pretty far stretch. Like it's a pretty elaborate ploy for me to just call you and make this movie thing up just for a laugh on a Friday night. Like, do you want to come and do it or not? And he was like, yes, you know. But then with the sequence, because I don't remember any of mine. With this sequence where I lost my legs, I was kind of like, a little bit of me was worried that it was gonna trigger something.
Yeah.
But the main thing you sort of want to do is just be as like, I don't want to sound too like actory or arty with it. You just kind of want to be truthful. So I just shut my eyes before the first take and then was like, you just got to imagine that when you wake up, you look down and you see what you see and then what that will be like. And I was pretty lucky. It didn't go anywhere dark. It didn't do anything crazy, you know. And I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of Andrew Garfield had been amazing we'd been on there for 5 weeks by the time we shot that sequence of me. And like, you just kind of, I don't know, you want to do the best thing you can by him.
Yeah.
So that was sort of it. And I mean, that's the sort of thing from there. It was just every time there's like an injured war veteran, I get a call and they go, oh, cool, we've got like 2 scenes for you. You walk in, you sit in a wheelchair or something and shake someone's hand or something strange happens. But yeah, it was a mind-bending experience. Like getting to hang out with Vince Vaughn as just Vince Vaughn hanging out is just, it's like you're in a different world. Like, honestly, you've got to, it's as if you're in a reality show. Like, for me, it was like I was looking around waiting for someone to just go, oh, punked or something like, you know what I mean? Like, it just, yeah, really cool.
Any other movies or anything coming up, mate?
We did Carmen last year, which was good with Paul Mescal, which him and Andrew both got nominated for Oscars, and neither of them got it. So I don't know whether I'm the poison that ruins their Oscar hopes. But yeah, we did last year in Limbo and one called While the Men Are Away for the ABC, and then this year I just actually last weekend I was working with a guy who did Assassin's Creed. His name's Justin Kurzel. So he's doing The Narrow to the Deep North, which is a series about an Australian surgeon. Oddly enough, expressing the intense range that I have. I'm a war veteran in that as well. But yeah, it's there's little things, but I mean, I don't sort of have to do them. I kind of like enjoy them. So yeah, it's like they're fun, but I think that's sort of the poison of it. You know what I mean? Like I've kind of got that. Who's that? What's that guy? Eastbound and Down. You know how he has the moment where he gets the king moment in his first season? I kind of got that, but with the movies. So it's the best movie that anyone's going to land in their career. And it was the first one that I got. And then for the rest of it, you kind of like just going, oh, okay, cool. But just
how do you top that?
Minor leagues.
It just sounds like typical Hollywood, mate, you know, pinholing you into this, you know, standard little, you know.
Little bit, yeah.
You're playing to be named later.
Stereotype, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. But I mean,
typical Hollywood, mate, you know.
Well, I think there's like, it was kind of good because you look at bits of it that, you know, because sometimes I love movies. I know it's, you know, a lot of people do. And there's a lot of bits in them that you kind of like, oh, that's not really how it had happened. Like I was talking to someone about it the other day. I really like the show Suits. And they were complaining that corporate law doesn't work the way like that does. And I'm like, you should watch a war movie with me. You know, like it's like they're fictional characters running around in a movie. Like it's designed to follow a story arc. Like, and it was kind of good for that little bit. But yeah, it's kind of like I know it's given me a new appreciation, I think, because you know as well if you're too busy watching a storyline or watching actors that the movie isn't interesting enough. But then when you just get carried away and you're just lost in another world for 2 hours at the end of it, you just pinch yourself and go, "Oh my god, what just happened? Oh, that was out of this world." But yeah, I mean, it's good. It still blows my head off, like some of the stuff that I've got to do. You know what I mean? It's a bit.
Yep.
You get to live in this little fantasy land that somehow is my life, but then there's bits of it that are incredibly hard and then really dark. You know, that kind of balance those bits out. Like types of the good bits are great to talk about. You know, I mean, they're obviously more entertaining than the dark spots, especially when like mine. I don't get flashbacks. Like I don't know what it looks like. Like I've read the report, and we were in a 9-hour gunfight the day before I got hit, and I can't remember any of that day. Like there's a pile of stuff in there. Like yeah, it's kind of it can be sort of weird. Like you get the good side of being able to do those things. But I was having a shower one day. I had my eyes shut, and I was just like rubbing my ears, and I had my eyes shut, and everything just slowed down and stopped until I had just a little sort of tunnel. I couldn't change my tone of voice. I couldn't do anything. My missus didn't know what was wrong. She's like, "Look, are you okay?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what." And it was like that was 3 hours where I couldn't. And no matter what you do, you can't change it. You know. So there's you get the, you know, I guess there's the good with the bad with it. It's always more entertaining to talk about the good, but they're the funner ones than the stuff that's a little bit darker. So, but yeah,
We appreciate you know, chatting with us and talking about it, mate. And you do a bit of public speaking. And what does that mainly involve? Does that mainly involve the adversity that we face in life, or is it a bit of both? Does it talk about your sport? What's the main focus of your public speaking, or does it vary from place to place?
it depends where you are and who you're speaking to. What ultimately, I guess, that group want out of the story. You know, I mean, I work something out. Things seem to work a lot better when you're serving others. You know, I mean, I grew up playing team sports, so you're there playing a role in a team. You know what I mean? So that's, you know, where I think when it comes to my talk or story, I'm kind of telling the story about a group of heroes that saved my life, and then my motivation to do other things after it because of wanting to honor the fact that they gave up just a bit of and a significant part of their soul to make sure that I can be here. So the least I can do is, you know, make a day of it. You know what I mean? Like that's and that's sort of the and that's one of the things that I think, you know, is a good message for people. I mean, that whole, you know, doing hacksore just as fun as it was to get the best thing that I could for Andrew Garfield because he's amazing and I watched him do awesome stuff. And then you get the best stuff out of yourself, I think, when you've got a purpose that's bigger than yourself. So that is sort of one of the key focuses of the talk, you know, I mean, and then also knowing essentially when you're on the field, you know, when's it my turn to have to show up, you know, being ready for that moment, but then not, you know, you can't be on the whole time. You know, you got everyone brings something different to the table. So way you turn, and I'm still getting better at it. I mean, I think that's the good thing. I mean, I'm 42 years old now, and I still am learning, and I'm accepting the fact that I'm still learning and getting better at the little bits. You know what I mean? Like just knowing that I've got to improve And that's the sort of thing. As long as I'm keeping trying to improve or do something like move in a positive direction, positive things will happen. And they seem to. It's funny when Mrs. always says that. She's like, "Oh my God, this is doing that way. Everything's gonna break down." I'm like, "Don't worry, babe. It's gonna work out." She's why I'm like, I don't know. It always does. It just does. Let's just stay the positive course, and then we'll be fine.
Roll with it.
Yeah. Mysteriously, it does.
Is that why you're such a good golfer? It's always just going to work out. For me, it's hit fuck.
I get so angry. I thought originally when I started playing golf, I thought that people genuinely regularly threw clubs. My old man's the biggest hothead in the history of the golf course, and I thought that was just. I thought everyone swears when they play. You go out and play with other guys, and they're like, "Jesus Christ, what is wrong with this guy? Is it a war thing coming out? Like, what's happening with him?" And then, you notice everyone else seems really, really calm. Like, they'll hit a bad shot and go, "Oh, okay, I'll just play the next one. It'll happen. That'll be fine." And I was like, "Well, they didn't lose."
You just hit a shit shot. You just duffed the shit out of it.
Yeah, you dog shit. What are you doing? This is a reflection of you as a person. Like, what are you doing?
You're trying to chip onto the green, just thinned it, and you just
your father's son right there, because he's competitive as I remember him. Like even when my oldies played, like the old man saying how competitive he was. Yeah, so it's there.
Loves it, and I don't think he can lose. Like he went through a stage where he had he was getting chronic fatigue through COVID. You know, there was a couple of things that I think added up, and he's you could see just the fact that he was getting too tired to be competitive, and it was heartbreaking to watch because you kind of all right, man, he's getting along. Maybe this is sort of it. I'm just, no, Dad, you got to have fish oil. You got to be up at 6 a.m. I'm on the hand cycle. I need you to be on the cycle or doing stuff. Here's a green juice. I'm doing stuff like that as if that's the end. Now he does green juice religiously, which we both do. So I'll be up and do it in the morning. And he's kind of come out the other side of it. The scariest thing now is, but he's knocking on the door of actually being competitive enough to beat me. Oof. I'm like, he's beaten me once, and now is it in my head? Now is it in there? Is this? Yeah, it's it's rent free. I've got 2 strikes in me. I'm walking up to a golf ball on a first tee, and I got 2 strikes already. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Nah, I just automatically had in the head I couldn't beat the old man, even when he was still single digit golfer, and around 70. I'm like, I've still got no chance. Yes, I might drive it further. He's just consistent. Down the middle on the green, missed the part, there's part. I'm like, okay.
So old Betsy down the middle.
Say again, sorry?
Old Betsy down the middle wins every time.
Yeah. He who makes the least mistakes. So the slow and steady. But I mean, now he's getting back to, I think he'd be 10.1 now. It's the first time he hasn't been in single figures was when he was sick for a little while since he was 17.
Yep.
So,
he's getting a bit older, so that's pretty good for his age.
Yeah. He's a 53 baby. So yeah, that's 70 clicks up. I mean, he's 71 this year. So yeah, he's only just out of double figures, and he'll be back in him in 2 weeks. He'll be back in singles. So yeah, it's wild. You think you swallow him, and I mean that's the thing. People think they'll swallow him because he only hits his drive probably 210, 220 now maybe, and then he'll just be in a putt from the middle of nowhere, just from another state. Just put a putt in, and then he's got a walk. It's got I don't even know if he knows where he does it, but he's with it has. It's like a mini one. He had it before Conor McGregor, and it's a little version of that little lion strut thing that he does, kind of just on his way in to pick the ball up out of the hole.
He doesn't give it to Shooter McGavin as well on the way, does it?
Wasn't that one of the best movies ever?
Yeah.
Seriously, of any generation. I mean, it's the greatest. If you can make golf interesting as a sport for people who aren't into golf, I think that you've won if you're Hollywood.
100%.
What are your thoughts on the live golf? What they did sort of when they first started? What were your thoughts?
My initial thoughts were we're going to see one of two things. One of them is that the PGA Tour are going to go, we can't compete because we don't have the cash, or the PGA Tour are going to have to admit that they were underpaying their players. You know, like you can't randomly as a tour, and Jay Monahan knew this, you can't randomly triple purses and people go, well, we haven't got new sponsorship. Where did the money come from? Liv highlighted the fact that there was no players agreement, like the NBA, the NBL, the MLB, the NHL. They've all got players can sign deals, so there's a certain amount of the gate take that goes to players. Golf never had that, you know, and that was always something that, you know, Greg Norman, who's between him and Tiger, they've owned the number one golf ranking for, you know, longer than Australia's been a country, and like we've you know, Live Golf kind of highlighted the fact that people were being undervalued and underplayed. I mean, I think the end game of it is that they merge. The merge is almost inevitable because it's highlighted that the PGA Tour, whilst it was the most prestigious event, owned the majors, just wasn't compensating its players well enough. You know, I mean, like you got guys who are, imagine being like a plus 6.8 handicap consistently, and then you're struggling to get by on tour doing that, you know, and then comparatively speaking, you're a bullpen pitcher who throws 6 innings in a year who's on $16 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like what it did to shake it up because it was good for value. And I mean, you noticed Rory's gone back on his word now. You know, you had so many people like John Rahm has to be the savviest businessman of any golfer. He's just come out going, nah, not into it while he's winning. His purses are tripling and he's like, cool, I had the year of my life. That's probably not going to happen twice. I'm joining Live Golf for the hundreds of millions they're going to offer. And then he's just walked away. Like when I saw it, all I could do was smile. I didn't have like any other thing besides just going, well played, John. Well done, mate. Well played.
No, still doesn't beat the John Daly deal. Lifetime
John
Hooters.
Daly. The what?
Hooters for life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just used to drive his minivan to wherever the golf tournament was, park in the Hooters car park, eat and drink free there every night, and then go out and play golf at wherever the course was.
It's just wild. I can't even drink like a week before playing like a competition. I can't, like, I don't drink very much now because I think early on in the piece, like I probably drank too much. So and to hear like some of the John Daly stories, like I don't even think I could hit the middle of a golf club if I'd had like occasionally you play around where you got a fireball shot or something like that. You know what I mean? You go away on a boys' trip and then someone nails a birdie, everyone has a fireball. 2 hours later, there's no way I'm hitting the center of the club. There's no way I'm even close. And Daly's going out going, oh yeah, I shot 65. just mental. And then like he'll slay people like going, oh, everyone's getting their injuries. You can't pull fat. Yeah, he just owns it. Still rocking a mullet. Like he's been rocking a mullet since the first time mullets were acceptable.
Yeah.
Like I don't still think they're cool. I can't stomach that. But they have kind of made a resurgence. And he's just had one the whole time. He's like one of those guys with a handlebar mustache that just had one in the 70s and now still has one.
Still has it, yeah.
Yeah.
You see guys with the bananas and their health drinks and all that, and he's got a 6-pack of Coke, 2 packs of smokes, and some chocolates in his bag. And away he goes.
Living the dream. And I'm like, it pops. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Daly's son is absolute great.
I reckon he's going to take over him, but I reckon like his boy, that's going to be the good one. But watching like the dynasties of Tiger and Daly play each other. Because imagine if John Daly was as good as he was, and then you got someone who's actually working with him, going like, let's make this guy a peak athlete, the way that they do athletes today. And if your son's got the same talent as him, it's gonna just be wild.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching guys just do stuff that's just superhuman. It's like the battle's already set. You know what I mean? Like you got Muhammad Ali's kid fighting Mike Tyson's. It's gonna be cool. Who would have won that?
Tyson.
Ali
I'm going to say Tyson too. He's just a brawler, isn't he?
Tyson, right?
Ali. Tyson would go for the shots, but Ali he'd duck and weave his way. But if Tyson connected, yeah,
I just think Tyson would be right in close. It just makes me think Ricky Haddon, Costa Zoo back then, Same thing Ricky Haddon when he took his titles, he just got in there and just hammered in that body, uppercut, and has worked the body from close range. No way to get out of the road.
That's the thing. Was his head quick enough? If his head was quick enough to stay away from a jab, it's one of those that you never get the answer to it, except mate,
that's another hour conversation right there.
It is. Clip the other day, Mike Tyson. He'd be close to 60, wouldn't he, Tyson?
Yeah,
mid-50s. Yeah. He's just still so quick. He's still an athlete. And it's really good to watch.
Still a criminal.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, he didn't come up on the Epstein list. So
no.
He's really a criminal. I mean, it's like, everyone's idolizing Stephen Hawking's, and then next minute you're kind of like, oh, but you went to that party, didn't you, Stephen?
Mate, I really appreciate you coming on. It's been awesome talking to you, mate. We could talk for hours. I've got a whole list of things that we haven't even touched on, but we said, we might keep you for 20 minutes or so. It's been over an hour now, so we'll let you go. But just want to say,
2.5 hours and not draw a breath. Love telling us story, boys. Thanks for having us on. I appreciate it, man. It's always good to catch up with some of the old boys.
Love it, mate.
Definitely.
And hopefully, once winter comes around, mate, we can get you up to the Royal Waterboard, up to Toronto Tigers on a Saturday arvo for a beer and a chicken burger and have a chat.
Yeah,
throw on a boss.
Boss won't be there on a Saturday arvo.
No, he won't be.
Third grade.
But we're going to have Boss on in a couple of weeks, so we'll get his side of the whole cricket thing as well. So we'll pay him out about it.
He's the nicest guy. He came with his wife and his 2 kids, and their whole family is just amazing. Like they're all just great people, but just him in general as a guy. Some people just walk into the room and he's just a legend from the second he walks in. Yeah. He's just really cool. Oh, hey man, and he's like excited about everything. He's just
It'd be good to see the kids, mate.
Yeah. What's that again?
Sorry. You go, Randall.
I was going to say, we'll see what happens with his young fella T and Mania, see how they go in a few years' time when they start playing some cricket. Because his wife, Cassandra, her grandfather was Dutchy Holland.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so.
Her dad was there.
Yep, so Craig Holland was the son of Robert Holland. So there's some good genes there, mate. So we'll see.
They've got it, don't they? They're born with it.
And his nephew, Moko, his older brother's son, unbelievable golfer already too.
Yeah, right. Get out.
Yeah. So just keep an eye out for the Monaroa name.
Look at that. Yeah. Everyone, I'm going to ask him now. Look at it. That's brilliant.
All right. Thanks very much, mate. Appreciate your time. And
cheers for having us on.
Awesome to have a chat. Take it easy, mate.
Thanks, Damo.
See ya. Cheers, all right, fellas. We said we'd be about an hour. I reckon we just don't worry about the sport. That's good enough. That was an awesome chat.
How good was that?
Absolute legend.
What you could keep going for hours and
easy.
And didn't even mention he's done the Kokoda Trail since he's been injured.
Yeah.
So it's hard enough for an able-bodied person, and he did it for one of his mates. So just adds to the list, doesn't it?
Yeah. No,
We'll have to save that for another episode. We'll have to get him back on again.
Oh, we had so much to talk about, like with his career in sport and what he's done. And we didn't even talk about the Invictus Games, any of the snowboarding stuff. He's an author of a book. I'm going to leave the book, the link to buy his book in the show note description here, because Davo's read it and recommended it. I'm going to go and buy it for sure. It'll be a good read.
And as I said, he's just such a down to earth bloke too. So do anything for anyone. So,
mate, the only pitfall was the LA Dodgers, I guess. We can't hold that against him for too long, though.
And Roosters.
Yeah, and the Roosters. I missed that.
Oh, that's even worse. I did see, actually. Yeah. I did see.
Anyway, he's probably about an 8 out of 10 now. But no, we really appreciate him coming on. Absolute legend of a bloke. And the few people that have listened live tonight have loved it. What do we got here? JVD almost made the Olympic team for Winter Games. I have the book if anyone wants to read it.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Sue, that was awesome. And I appreciate his time. And we're going to jump on and get through these little bits of sport quick as possible and get us out of here. NFL, the Ravens round. You want to talk about what the Ravens did, mate? 34-10. You got about 22 seconds. Ready, go.
Yeah, 10-all halftime. Texans looked pretty good. Ravens were very rusty and slow to start, but they come out really strong second half and ran away with it. They got their groove. Lamar was good, real good.
Can they do it next week?
Yes.
I think so too, mate.
Kansas City.
Are they playing again?
Mate, in saying that, Kelsey had 2 touchdowns on the weekend. Mahomes played heaps better. They haven't. We'll see what happens. The Baltimore defense, I think it might be a little bit much for the way Kansas City have played this year. But they're tried and tested, mate. That your KC boys they've been there, they've done it over a multiple number of years. You can't rule them out. Yeah, doesn't matter if they were shit all year. You can't beat
experience.
No. They know they can step up and do it. So Baltimore have had a shitty record in playoffs for a long time. Lamar, there's a big question marks over him if he can perform. Yep, he stood up on the weekend against the Texans, but Kansas City are a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, time will tell. It'll be a cracker of a game.
It should be a good game, mate.
The 49ers.
Poor old Packers, they need a kicker.
Yep.
Missed field goal. Cost them. Yeah, it would have only been a tied game and would have been overtime, but cost them. 49ers scraped in. They won't win the comp, the 49ers. I don't think their offense showed enough.
The Lions. Davo.
Yeah. Hey. The Lions.
Yeah,
talked about them after week 1 and said they were going to be red hot.
Yeah, they're just sneaking along, and I think people know about them now.
Yeah.
I think they're just young and fearless, and it's sort of like they're playing with nothing to lose. And it's probably the best way to be is that, hey, we've made it this far. Let's just keep going.
Yeah. I don't think they lose this week. I think they beat the 49ers.
Yeah, nice. Chiefs,
Bills, same again. Get a kicker.
Yeah.
Bills had a chance to level it up with, what was it, a minute and a half left?
Yeah. TF Hudson, if you're listening, unlucky.
Missed field goal. Sucks shit, TF Hudson. Oh, there he is there.
There he is.
Hey.
There he is.
Laces out.
Laces out. What do they get paid for? Your only job is to kick the ball. Your only job.
I sent him a text message. No, let me find it.
That's all you're paid for. You get paid $27 million a year to just come in and kick the ball, and you've shanked it.
Let's read this.
Poor old Tim.
Tyler Bass has deactivated all his social media accounts after receiving harassment and death threats over his missed kick last night. Bills fans want Bass out of Buffalo.
Jeez, that's a bit rough.
Yeah.
Can happen to anyone.
What about the act that the Bills did? They turned off the hot water. They turned off the hot water in the Chiefs' change room.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see Kelsey out in the crowd drinking beers in the crowd in the snow?
Mate. That's one way to have a brother outshow you.
Which one?
Jason.
No, Jason.
Yeah,
Jason was
did
up
see
in the
that.
crowd.
Up where with Taylor. I saw him. They went to
Yeah.
Taylor and she was cheering and hugging, and he's in the background with no shirt on, pumping beers.
Yeah.
Good man. What else do you do when you're out?
Yeah.
Good big brother, just sort of being there supporting and just loving life.
Good family, mate, I
absolutely.
think. Good family.
Right.
What do you got this
happened
week,
from
boys?
fellas? What do we got? I'm going to go first. I'm going to go the Ravens to beat my Chiefs, unfortunately, and I am going to take the San Francisco 49ers over the Lions. Davo?
Well, I'm back in the Ravens because that's who I backed with Sportsbet a month or two ago, so I've got to go them. And I'm hoping I'm riding the Lions train.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'm with you, Davo. I'm Ravens and Lions.
Well, that'll be a shit Super Bowl if that happens. I'm hoping Kansas City gets good, mate.
You know, at least it's two teams that haven't been there for a while. It's not, same old sort of.
I'm not worried about that, Randall. Not worried about that at all. But,
I'm loving the one percenters out there going, we need a Chiefs versus Lions Super Bowl so you can have Taylor Swift versus Eminem. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever.
That would be perfect,
What are they going to do? Rap battle at halftime?
Yeah.
Yeah. We, mum's spaghetti on your sweater or some shit? Like.
TF Hudson, what about that? I sent you
cruise
Super Bowl day on the cruise.
Well, you won't be watching the Bills.
$400 gets you, what was it? All your beer, your American barbecue, and 5 hours on a boat down in Darwin Harbour. Not bad. I think the silver package was $220 or something without your beers and food. So not bad. What about you, blokes? Are you working, Randall?
Nope.
Off. Davo, you off?
No, I think I'm working, but I might try and work from home that day and just have the TV on behind us.
Sydney.
Hey?
Work from the boat in Sydney, did you say?
Yeah. Yes, going down to the office. Tripped up on the train, won't be able to make it.
Hudson, you're nice and local now, so you can join myself and Tim, I'm sure, at Harrigan's.
Is that where you're going, Harrigan's?
Well, sounds like it.
All right. I thought we're going to go on a boat.
Well, we can go on a boat.
We'll talk about this later then, shall we?
Okay.
We'll talk about this later. Right, what else have we got? ABL into the finals. Melbourne versus Adelaide. That'll be a cracker. And Brisbane Bandits and Perth Heat. That kicks off this weekend. What else have we got here?
Who you got in that, mate? Who you picking?
Mate, I'm actually going to go Adelaide, Brisbane. And
yeah.
I'm going to go Adelaide and Perth.
Yeah.
Me.
I'd love to see Adelaide and Brisbane final series and see what happens. But yeah, some of the matchups here, Adelaide's just been dominant all year. They've been just a class above. We talked about this last week. Talking about will Wells get MVP. And you sent this through today, Davo. 9-0 record. 47 innings pitched, 0.94 ERA, 63 strikeouts, 28 hits off him. He's pretty much unstoppable. I hope he continues on and has a great postseason in the ABL, but also goes over to Philly and just dominates. Would love to see another Aussie, make it into the show.
Yep, pretty good. Same as his brother did. So it'd be good to see him get a shot over there and actually make it to the show as well.
For sure.
As long as he doesn't play a couple of years and come back and play for Belmont.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen. What about
One's
this guy?
hard enough. Yeah,
200 ABL games.
Yeah, what a legend. 30-year-old rookie, oldest rookie ever, wasn't he? 30-year-old rookie for the Blue Sox. He's just racked up 200 games.
Awesome.
So, what a legend. So he must have had about 190-odd games before he hit his first home run then.
It was 186, I think.
Yeah, 186. 186.
There you go.
It just shows persistence. You want something, get after it. Doesn't matter how old you are, it's there. So for anyone out there thinking, I'm getting old or not good enough or whatever, keep chasing that dream.
Absolutely. What about this next one? Tomorrow, Hall of Fame goes live, the ballot or whatever it is. What are they thinking? Adrian Beltre is a lock, they reckon. Who else? Yeah. Who else is up?
Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer and Todd Helton, I think, was it?
Todd Helton.
I can't remember. I think it was Todd Helton.
You think Todd Helton, I would say. I don't know. What do you guys think about Joe Mauer? I think we might have talked about this before on the show. Yeah. I know he had two really good years.
He was an over 300 hitter.
Not the longevity. I know injuries and concussions and all that sort of played a part in it, but I suppose they let Roy Halladay in, didn't they? He didn't have a full sort of career. Just not enough for me.
Yeah, I'm the
same.
They
also talking Billy Wagner and some of the long shots. Gary Sheffield, I think, was one of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sheff's on one of his last years, I think.
Yeah.
Wagner was dominant for a few years.
Yeah. But the same thing, it wasn't like he was he dominated for, a 6-7 year period, was it, or a 10-year period? He was much shorter span where, and he was dominant back ends of games, wasn't he? With the Astros there, I don't know.
Speaking of the Astros, mate, Josh Hader signed $95 million.
Yeah, they're pretty much saying the Astros. If you don't get to the Astros before the 7th, don't worry about it.
Yeah, mate.
With the three guys they've got at the end, get them early, or you're not going to get them.
That's these three here.
Yeah.
I suppose adding Hader, giving them that left-hander as well, man, they can just work matchups, can't they?
Yeah.
That's
how they go for new manager.
That's a brutal back end.
BJ, love the chair, giving you Manny Ramirez hair. Love it.
With the locks flowing out the side, mate.
Can I give him some of his genes so he can hit?
So that's not going to happen.
Doubt it. Maybe some of his supplements he was on. He might be able to hit. Hope you're doing well, Noro. Yeah, it's been a while, mate. Yeah, what else have we got here? Chapman.
Yeah, Chapman. Saw this one today. Wow.
I think you had a good point, David. What's your thoughts on it, mate?
Well, I think it's a good move from the Pirates in that if he performs well for them and the Pirates aren't going well, nice bit of trade bait. So can't have cost the Pirates too much to sign him. If they have him for half a year and then get a couple of good prospects out of it, it's worked well for them.
Yeah, for sure.
That's sort of how I'm reading it. It's like a savvy move from the Pirates. Just use him, trade bait, more prospects.
Yeah. Send in if they're not playing well. They had a pretty good start to the season last year, didn't they? They did. They're up the top there, and obviously the wheels fell off. But if they're a contender, they've got him. Beautiful. And if they fall away again, or they're not going to be a contender, then like you say, Davo, they can go send him away and pick up some top picks or some top prospects, or do whatever and bolster for the year after. Because sure as shit, they're going to have some guys coming through pretty soon.
Yeah.
They've been another one of those teams like your Baltimores and your Cincinnatis that have been at the bottom of the comp for a long time. They must have some good quality high picks that are about to debut. O'Neill Cruz was one, wasn't he? But they must have some more coming.
Yeah,
that's like Henry Davis. He was the number one. They've had a few other, as you say, top level picks. Surely they are due. Did
Skeens go to Pittsburgh? Where did he go? Where did he end up? Yeah, he ended up there.
Yes, he's a Pirate. I reckon he could make the roster this year.
Yep, be interesting. We'll round it out with this, fellas. The free agent list. Any thoughts on where any of these blokes are going to end up?
Well, it said Kershaw's had surgery, so he's out till August or something.
Yeah.
So, I saw Snell's only had one proper offer and it was from the Yankees, I think.
Yeah, 150 mil, and he wants closer to 200.
He wanted a 6 year. I think Yankees only offered 5. He wanted 6. So Yankees said, stuff here, we'll sign Stroman.
Yep.
Jordan
Montgomery's supposedly linked with a few teams, but it's all hearsay.
I thought he might have hung around with Texas.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
It's hard, eh? Like, there's some good pitchers there. Like those 3 guys, any club would be, I'm sure, happy to have those guys thrown for them. I think it's just the amount of money they want.
Pretty
a little bit reluctant on them.
Pretty late for starting pitchers and that this year. Like a lot of the relief pitchers are sort of gone early, and I don't know, just seems to be dragged on a fair bit this year.
Yeah, Kershaw's getting older. You got him for the regular season, but if you make postseason, what do you do with him?
Yeah.
I know it's a rolling joke, but it's
true.
It's facts, isn't it? Montgomery, I still think he's hit and miss.
Yeah.
He could turn up and be great. He could turn up and be average. And same as Snell. Like, he's had a couple of good years, but mixed in amongst that as well, he's had some not so good years too, and some really not so good performances. So
he doesn't give you a lot of innings.
No,
Snell, he's good. He's good while he's out there, but he's not the type of guy who's going to give you a 7 every week.
No, that's right. Every five games give you a 7.
Yeah.
So they could be some of the reasons why teams aren't jumping at them. Bellinger, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know why someone hasn't snapped him up.
Yeah, had the year of his life last year.
Yeah, he had some good years good year at the Dodgers, then sort of slid down a little bit, and then his resurgence with the Cubs.
Yeah,
I don't know what the Cubs are doing. Maybe he just wants too much money again. Don't know. Justin Turner, back end of his career, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
I know. If
he's not what he used to be.
The MLB deals don't work out. I know where they can get, chicken burger and 2 VBs each Sunday afternoon if they want to have a game.
No, we can step it up to maybe XPA, Bolter XPAs, maybe.
Yeah, maybe $20 of fuel money as well.
Yeah. Reece Hoskins, I don't know why no one's really jumped on him. I know he probably hasn't really got a spot there at Philly, but
no,
he could fit in anywhere. Matt Chapman, and Brendan Belt. I don't know, but you think people would sign him, but maybe too much coin they're asking for. Who knows?
So
maybe it's length of deal.
Maybe
they want to wrap up and really secure their future and end out their careers, but who knows?
Yeah. All right. Speaking of ending and wrapping it up, let's end the show. It was an
Sounds
awesome
good.
one.
BBL
Damo,
final tomorrow night.
yeah,
Davo, your Sixers.
Sixers all the way.
Taking on the Heat.
should
Get
be
Josh Brown out early. We'll be right.
That was big, 140 off in the last night.
A lot of
Love
clean hitting.
Oof. And he was sweating bullets.
His back company's gone through the roof.
Yeah. All right, fellas. Thanks again. If you didn't hear Damien's the talk with Damo, go back and listen to it. It'll be on YouTube and well worth it. Just fast forward to get to his bit and be well worth your time. Thanks, fellas, and I'll catch you next week.
All right, mate.
All right.
See you Monday.